Reading or listening to a single romantasy novel requires a massive time commitment of 10 to 15 hours. Pick the wrong book based on algorithmic hype, and you sink a massive amount of leisure time and money into a story you resent by chapter 3. This diagram breaks down the archetype dominating algorithms, the shadow gaddy. He is tall, dark-haired, burdened by trauma, wields shadow magic, and exhibits extreme possessiveness. Because this profile sells reliably, it duplicated rapidly across the market, leading to a flood of near-identical stories. We are going to decode the exact anatomy of this trope and map out a framework to match your specific reading preferences to the right subset of the genre. Understanding the mechanics behind these male leads is the only reliable way to protect your time and money from misleading marketing. Many veteran readers have reached a state of deep trope fatigue, unable to differentiate between books because the male leads all share the exact same voice and behavior. Authors frequently use the dark aesthetic of shadow magic as a shortcut, substituting a power set for an actual multidimensional personality. The popular marketing tag morally gray is routinely misused to hide characters who are simply bullies, offering no narrative justification for their cruelty. Readers are explicitly promised centuries-old, battle-hardened immortal warriors, but end up reading dialogue from men acting like emotionally stunted teenagers. The marketed promise of a complex adult romance often devolves into formulaic, toxic wish fulfillment. This widespread frustration indicates the genre requires ruthless curation to bypass the clones and locate actual quality. Inviting. The first major category of the trope is the gateway. These books are designed for beginners and young adult crossover audiences. They rely heavily on political intrigue, snappy banter, and choices that are only mildly morally gray, avoiding complex lore that might overwhelm a newcomer. Choosing this path guarantees a fast, frictionless, and highly entertaining introduction to darker romance elements. Cautionary. The trade-off here is directly tied to that accessibility. Because they prioritize pacing and mass appeal, these books often lack mature relationship dynamics, and characters rarely face severe, lasting consequences for their actions. Gateway books offer high-return investments for beginners looking to join the broader cultural conversation, but they yield diminishing returns for experienced readers craving depth. The second category shifts into the extreme dark, often referred to as the alpha hole execution of the trope. These input characteristics include male leads who are hyper-dominant, morally pitch black, and ruthlessly controlling. The core appeal relies heavily on high-tension psychological suspense and unapologetic villain gets the girl wish fulfillment. The major trade-off requires accepting a specific type of relationship architecture. These narratives frequently normalize extremely toxic, non-consensual, and bully dynamics, packaging them as romance. Any multidimensional personality traits or potential character growth for the male lead are sacrificed to maintain shock value and aggressive pacing. This is a high-risk, high-reward time investment, built entirely for readers seeking dark escapism who do not want moralizing in their fiction. This matrix outlines the third category, the nuanced subversion, a tier tailored specifically for fatigued veterans. Because these indie or subversive authors rarely hit the top of mainstream algorithmic charts, the search effort required rises steadily alongside the emotional payoff. These male leads display emotional vulnerability, engage in distinct non-combat hobbies, and maintain a respectful disposition. The narrative enforces equal footing, where the female lead is treated as a genuine partner with full agency, rather than a fragile possession to be guarded. The main trade-off is pacing. These books are intensely character-driven and often rely on a slow-burn romance. To establish this level of depth, authors deliberately abandon the hyper-dominant, aggressive pacing that drives the mainstream dark romance market. While you must invest patience and research to locate them, nuanced subversions deliver the highest emotional ROI and narrative satisfaction for the burned-out reader. This scenario match flowchart maps your current psychological state to your next specific book purchase. If you are a time-poor beginner who simply wants to understand the hype on social media, stick to the gateway branch. You secure guaranteed entertainment and easily digestible world building. If you are reading to experience pure, unapologetic thrill and taboo relationship dynamics, embrace the alpha whole branch, provided you accept the lack of emotional depth in exchange for fast-paced intensity. If you are a fatigued veteran exhausted by cookie-cutter clones, avoid the major book talk megahits. Use keywords like equal footing and slow burn to hunt down the nuanced subversions. Controlling your reading choices based on your specific psychological preferences, rather than blindly following algorithms, protects your time and